I'm George Reister. He's Ralph Amsden. This is Reister or Wrong. What do Dear Brian, Adidas, and Sydney Carter all have in common? If you don't know who Sydney Carter is, she's a college basketball coach with pink pants. And we must micromanage that. So, what do all three of these things have in common? Because they're all impactful and tied together today. My Lakers are FUBAR right now. I don't even know how to say it. It makes me sad. And Russell Westbrook is taking the high road, and I appreciate him for that. Damian Lillard, in his rap songs, has manifested himself to be Sisyphus, pushing the rock up the hill. Soon as he gets anywhere near the top, rolls back down on him, and now the whole franchise has tanked completely. And yep, got to be careful with them words, buddy. Same thing with Kanye West. He has spoken his life into existence. And Ralph is I think Ralph may be ready to convert to be a Jehovah's Witness because they got him, and this time it wasn't at the door. And we have a great interview, part of our Making an Athlete series, with Mr. Gary Chambers, Eastern Michigan strength and conditioning coach. You guys can always hit us up. I'm mad at unafraidshow.com or shoot us a text 818-293-7547. This is the intersection where sports, business, society, and pop culture meet the truth. So we will start though, Ralph, with Dear Brian, because this is a thing that turned into a thing today. And yesterday. And when I first saw this tweet, Ralph, I knew what was going to happen. I knew that this was going to turn into a disaster for this man's for his mentions, and he didn't have the foresight to realize that. And here is the tweet that he sent out. Dear late, and mind you, he's a pastor, so we understand a little bit, where he is coming from, I guess, on some level, but some things. Okay, so anyways, dear ladies, there is no reason whatsoever for you to post pictures of yourself in low cut shirts, bikinis, bra, and underwear, or anything similar ever. Not to show your weight loss journey, not to show your newborn baby, not to document your birth story. Signed, your brothers. Now, Ralph, when he sent that tweet out, he couldn't have possibly thought that that was going to go well, right?
I guess it really depends on what his definition of well was. If he wanted, he's a musician, and if he wanted attention, he certainly got it. I think that more people know the name Brian Salve. I'm assuming that's how you say it. Definitely more people know that name today than they did yesterday.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it really depends on what his goal was here. If his goal was to get dunked on for 24 straight hours by the entire internet, then he's having the best day of his life. If it was not, then maybe the day's not going so well.
What he just wanted to share his message about, about what he believes that women should be doing with their bodies, right? And here's the thing is, here's the truth is that if we're being 100% real about this, right? If we're being 100% real, we understand the world that we live in. What is the oldest profession, Ralph?
Well, I don't know if it's true or not, but that you are referring to ladies of the night and men of ill repute and the exchange of goods for services.
Oh, that is a nice way to say prostitution, pimps, and johns. That's a nice way to say it, right? And men are visually stimulated. And so, Brian, while there are men who are of the same, thought process as him, how many of them actually would see a woman in a bikini and just be like, nope, I'm not looking there, or do they go like, ooh, nice, I probably shouldn't look at that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, just off general. keeping it buck, keeping it 100, most men are not going to be like, yeah. Y'all stop showing up in these bikinis. Let's stop the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Let's stop the let's all wear, you know, burkas, women, burkas, please. Like so, like what? How many men are you gonna get to co-sign this on a real practical level? Like I'm not talking about on the internet faking for the rest of the world. I'm talking about in actual practicality. How many men are gonna be like, "Hey, wife, you don't need to be." Listen. When we're on vacation with the kids, you do not post that picture in that bikini, baby. You do not. I don't care if it's a one piece, a cover up. Do not post that picture.
I don't even know really how to answer what it is the question you're posing, because it if we're asking like how many men would actually co-sign what he's saying, that like there needs to be a greater concerted effort to force women to cover up so that men avoid temptation. I think that women should find the whole prospect of that pretty threatening, because there are several countries on this planet that actually have that as
Yeah.
their daily life. Saudi Arabia, like the way the Taliban enforces things, like
Yes.
having to cover up and having no choice could definitely happen here, on some level, which just takes all the temptation and whatnot underground, right? I think the real issue is, and always will be, at what point do we start making men responsible for their own eyes and hearts and minds,
Bingo.
and at what point uh do we stop like saying, hey, these food sources that farm animals and dogs have that are for nourishing children, um, are actually this like super naughty, terrible thing that uh, is dirty and bad and wrong, and look away. You
See,
know,
and I'm a modesty person, right? I'm a modesty person. But at the same
you're
time, bro.
you're you're a modest is hottest guy. Is that what you are?
what
Modest
does
is hottest.
I don't understand what that means.
It's like a mindset where um where mostly Christian religious men tell women that, like, hey, if the whole point of you wearing revealing clothes was to get our attention, guess what we really love? Covering up. We love that. You
Oh
should
no
do
no no
that.
no no no
Tempt
no no
tempt
no.
tempt us with your
No,
coverings.
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that so like I would not have a problem if me and my wife were on vacation and she wore a thong bikini. That would not bother me at all. Like I would be okay with that. Like if that's what she wanted to wear, okay, whatever. But at the same time, I understand that people have different schools of opinion and schools of thought. But if we were at a family resort, I wouldn't like that as much. If that makes sense. But if we were on like a adults only at the Cove at the Atlantis, who cares? But if it's a childlike environment, nah. I think you have to dress for where you're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like so
I
that's
think
what I'm saying. I think that there, but that goes for me too. Like I
yeah.
wouldn't wear, you know, shorts and a t-shirt to a funeral. So I think that there's an element of dress appropriately for where you are, but I'm not getting ready to tell you, hey lady, you need to put some damn clothes on. Yes, I'm gonna tell you that if you show up to the kids' recital with booty cheeks hanging out, yes. But I'm also gonna say that if a dude shows up with his shirt off, like like bro, what are you doing? This is what you came in here with gray sweatpants with no drawers. Like this is how you came. Like come on, man.
I think two things that I've learned, whether it's, coming up in church, or uh, being a teacher for a short time, and then just having a presence on the internet and watching women express themselves, is two things that you never want to do. Is one, um, tell a woman what choices that she should be making with her garments and body and whatnot. I think you can leave that to them. And the other thing that you never want to do is hold a woman to that same standard. You don't want to tell.
Bro,
You know,
it is an
yeah,
exercise in futility.
yeah.
So
Not only do
that
you not want to tell them what to wear, you don't want to tell them to not tell somebody else what to wear.
yes.
You mostly just want to leave it alone. Just leave it
Okay.
alone,
So
Brian.
so that led to Adidas, and some people will say that they weren't related, but I definitely believe that this is. I mean, yes, Adidas is coming out with a new line with 43 styles of sports bras, but here is the tweet that Adidas put out.
Man.
There are 16 different breastises on this tweet. Oh no, 20. I
20.
apologize. And if we were a different type of show, we would number them and rank them. But that's not how we roll. But
I would certainly I would not. Like this little closet, if you want this little closet where we do our podcast to be my permanent home.
what would Erin say if she listened to the podcast or watched it and she saw us number them and rank them and say which ones that we liked best?
I'm not like out to emasculate myself or anything like that. She would whoop my ass. Like I'm 100% convinced like she would rage.
What the hell are you doing, Ralph?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, oh my god. I can't even like I don't even want to think about. Oh, that's bad. That's all bad.
All right, so we're done with the Adidas tweet because it was just shocking. I was like, did they really tweet this? This
What do
is
you
from
think they
a
were
brand
doing?
account.
Right. What do you think that they were? Is it just one of those things where like brands are doing anything they possibly can to 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 be controversial to set themselves apart? Because what
I think they
somebody from
just want.
Adidas would tell you is, well, that's the whole point. Is we don't want this to be controversial. We want it to be about comfort. We want women to know that we're here for them. But the truth is, they would never have put that out in a million years unless it had the ability to create buzz. And
Yes,
we know how ad execs
dude.
think.
I got in an argument with my wife about this because I was like, bro, because I sent it on the family group chat. One person said that's offensive, and and she called me. She was like, George, how is this offensive? I was like, it's offensive to some people. I was like, I don't find it offensive. I think it's a bit much for a brand account, but I don't find it offensive. I was like, I get what they're trying to do. She's like, how is it offensive? I was like, well, because some people are much more conservative in ways that they're like, I don't want my kid seeing that because my kid follows Adidas. And she's like, breasts are not sexual objects. They are tools for uh, like babies.
Nurturing.
Yes. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, they are sexual. I was like, no, they definitely are.
It just because
Two
I saw a bunch of
TOO.
replies that were like throwing in there. All right, now do the jockstrap tweet then.
Oh God.
But it's true. Like they agree. This is the same Adidas that's out there sponsoring like grassroots 11U 7-on-7
Yeah.
for
So
fifth
so
graders.
like so that's what I'm saying. So it's some 12-year-old on Twitter today that got so he didn't
Yeah.
actually have to go to the bowels of the internet to find his his excitement today. He found it
This
right
is
on the Adidas page.
this is quite possibly the greatest day of some fifth grader's life,
Yes.
and the worst day of Brian Saube's life because I've seen that he's been tagged like 200,000 times in the replies. I'm not saying that what Adidas did is wrong. I'm just saying that whatever headache they get that comes from this
They
might have
deserve
been
it.
earned.
Yep. Oh yeah.
They might have earned that one.
Yes. All right. The next. Okay. So now, how did all of this impact the next person? And this is Sydney Carter, women's basketball coach. And this man, Wayne Walker, sends a message. Sydney Carter, women's basketball coach. Is her outfit appropriate as a basketball coach? Now, I look at this and I'm like, yo, she's thicker than a Snickers. Like this goes to the visually thing. You're like, yo, that is a good looking woman. And you also but now you're like, why the hell are we talking about her outfit? She's a basketball coach. If she had on black pants, not sure anybody would really be saying this. And my thing is she good at her job? Yes. Okay, well, if she's good at her job, why do I care what color pants she has on? The difference is that Muffet McGraw or or Pat Summit or what's the girl that just left Baylor to go to LSU?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, no, there's a bunch of women that dress like formally,
Yeah,
but
but
there's a bunch of people that dress a bunch of different ways.
correct. I don't even understand why basketball coaches still wear suits. It's nonsense. Why would you be wearing a suit? You're a basketball coach. You're doing physical stuff. Like put on a polo. I don't even care if you have on shorts. Just come on.
I think the main thing about this whole Sydney Carter thing that you have up on the screen right now, for people who can't see it, it's like pink pleather pants.
Yeah.
Maybe leather, but probably pleather. I don't think they make pink cows. And then she has
like
on
stretchy. Yeah, like some pink patent leather pants.
Right. She got like the breast cancer awareness Jordans for pants.
And she has on some heels, which is what
Right.
most women coaches wear.
Right. And the basketball thing's so weird because you and I talked about this before we went live, talking about how baseball managers still dress up like they're part of the team. And so, like, I just imagine like a basketball
And the
coach
managers
showing
literally
up.
they don't throw balls. They're not fielding anything, but they dress up just like they would like they're on the team.
Like I watched University of Arizona coach last year, Sean Miller. I watched him drench a suit in sweat, and I thought to myself, like, they should let that dude coach in a wife beater. Like, because who would care? Honestly, like I understand the gravitas or whatever that a suit brings to it, but first of all, this is a breast cancer awareness game, so like the color is part of it. It's part of what you're doing. Like if a coach showed up in like a all pinked out 3-piece suit with a pink tie, I think that'd be sick. Like the whole thing is to bring awareness to a common cause. And so I don't know, man. I just it feels weird that it's because it's a woman that we're worried about it, because I just can't imagine. I can't imagine a situation where a guy comes out in a jumpsuit or a romper or something to coach basketball. Can you imagine? Can you
Oh my
imagine like a
God.
male coach coming out in like in a male one-piece romper? Like,
Bro.
would we be talking about it with the same? Like, we'd certainly be talking about it. But the basketball is just that one unique sport in where, like, in football, a coach can dress comfortably. Not everybody's out there trying to be what Mark Nolan, who was like the last guy to wear a suit on the sideline. You have Belichick with the cutoff hoodie. Baseball, you dress like the team. In basketball, fashion's like it's part of it. It's
Yes.
whatever you bring to the table kind of says a little bit about who you are and how you coach. And I can't imagine having a problem with this and not just enjoying it, because it's one of the things that makes basketball unique is that you have a coach that can like put personality out there. So I don't know, man. It just seems like a waste of breath.
Absolutely, 100%. Now, a team that has been not a waste of breath, but a waste of time to watch this season. I have never been. Actually, I was less frustrated um, when like Nick Young, Jeremy Lin, and the rest of these dudes were playing for the Lakers. When like Kobe was on Jimmy Kimmel, and he was sitting there and just so disappointed in the way that they were behaving after a win, and they were like way under 500. Like I felt better about that team. I felt better about watching Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball lose, because at least they were young and pups and all of this stuff. This team has been constructed so poorly. This team has made me like be angry at a person that I like, and defend is Russell Westbrook. I have defended him to the hilt, and now it's made me not like him as a basketball player at times. Like the amount of shots that he has had not hit the rim through 50 some games should be enough for an entire career. Like air balls, bank shots that hit the top of the back, bro. It is painful. It is painful. And now the trade deadline is coming up. But I will say, I applaud Russell Westbrook. The way he's handling being benched. But at the same time, it shows no awareness. It's like he doesn't understand that he's playing awfully. And he's like, yo, I just want to be out there helping the team. I think I've earned it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Carmelo could say the same thing. But at some point in time, we have to realize it ain't working, pal. Oh, and you look at you over there with your damn smug smile.
What am I supposed to say?
With your best record in the NBA, with your little sorry ass Suns.
I'm new to this. Is 44-10 good? Is that a good record?
Shut up.
To have?
Shut up. You know it's good because you're used to watching the Lakers or the Warriors have that record.
Back-to-back road wins over the Nets and Sixers. Is that pretty good?
The Nets, no, because they've lost 9 games in a row. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, did they play the Suns 9 times? That's rough. No, look. I don't care if the Lakers are good or bad. I don't. It does not bring me. I'm not one of those NBA fans that gets joy out of anybody losing except the Jazz. And so the Jazz, they don't follow that rule. Anytime that the Jazz lose is good for America. But like, I would prefer to not have a LeBron-led team going out sad, struggling the way that they're struggling, because this is LeBron's fault. This is the team that he wanted. He's essentially the co-GM of this team, and he has he mortgaged the future to win now with AD, and they did. They got a title. And then bringing in Westbrook and some of his old friends so that he's not having to talk to people about doing TikTok dances and he can talk about mid-30s stuff with his teammates is not leading to wins on the court. And I get it.
But this is Rob Pelinka's job. It doesn't matter what LeBron James wants. Sometimes you have to say no. Dude, they could have had Buddy Hield.
You know how far you would go to...
They could have had DeMar DeRozan. They could have had DeMar DeRozan instead of Russell Westbrook.
It's true. That's true. You wouldn't get any 3-point help out of that, but he'd be much better from the mid-range.
How would we get 3-point? How are we getting 3-point help out of Westbrook?
Sometimes one of those long rebounds that go off the top of the backboard hits an open shooter. Like it bounces off the top of the backboard.
Oh my God.
Look, I like Russell Westbrook. And you know how I feel about LeBron. I'm just grateful to be alive at the time that he's hooping. He shouldn't be 36th, third in the league in scoring, second in the league in scoring. He shouldn't be putting in 30 a night. I don't know who on this team's responsibility it is to play defense. At some point, somebody's going to have to take some blame for something. And they just got worked by Giannis, who's the future, who is one of the only people that I fear in the NBA. As fun as it was to see Joel Embiid lose to the Suns last night, because all Joel Embiid does is troll other NBA players. And it was fun for a while, but now it's going to end up being the reason that nobody wants to go play with him. But he, to watch Joel Embiid troll people, and he's trolled the Suns for years and 8, and to watch them lose, like, that makes me happy. But I want one of those East Coast teams to sack up in time to knock the Bucks out of the playoffs, because I think it's not going to matter if my team gets there or if your team gets there at the end of the year if you have Giannis waiting for you in the finals. So technically, as long as the Lakers,
and especially if they get Schroeder too. If they get Schroeder too, bro, it's a burrito. Well, actually, the only team that's going to be able to beat them is the Warriors. But actually, I don't even know. Draymond may be the only person who can slow down Giannis. Maybe the only man who can slow down Giannis. Maybe.
I don't know, dude. I just know that, like, I want the Lakers to make the playoffs. I do want them to make the playoffs. I don't think that. I know that there's people out there that say I only care about my team. I don't care about the product, but I would much rather watch a first round.
We are in the 9 seed right now. We're gonna finish top 6, 5 or 6. I hope. Um, but I mean, we're only 3 games, what, 4.5 games back from the 6th seed with with a third of the season left.
I'll tell you,
And
it would not be good for your personal mental health to have an LA Clippers team minus Pat Bev, minus Paul George, minus Kawhi to be the 8th seed that keeps the 9th seed Lakers out of the playoffs. But I guess does the ninth seed actually get a play-in game?
yeah, yeah.
And okay, and I don't see the Lakers falling below 9 because the gap between 9 and
So
what's next is so big.
seven plays 8, 9 plays 10. Winner of 7, 8 plays 9, 10. But
Oh, okay.
but 9, 10 has to win twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. And
So,
that's what the Lakers did, right?
yeah, yeah.
In the bubble.
Uh, no, last year they were in the play-in and they just beat the Warriors and then they beat the next team too.
Okay.
So so yeah. So
Well, that's nice that the NBA is giving the Lakers a little bit of like a some handicap help.
shut up. I don't like you right now. But the question is, who will any of them be on the Lakers? Well, which Lakers will still be there on Thursday afternoon? Because I say if your name is not LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Malik Monk, you can go.
That's everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's not nailed down, if it's and those 3 things should be nailed down. If it's not any of them, sayonara, buddy. Sayonara.
I tell you what, if I was Rob Palinka, I would see if I can throw. This is gonna sound wild because it's just gonna sound like I'm being a homer because he has not lived up to his potential so far. But knowing that the Kings are doing whatever the Kings are doing right now,
Bagley.
yeah. Oh yeah, I would. I
Yeah.
would. He's
Why
like
not?
since coming back from injury, he's like number 3 in the league in defensive
You
field
know
goal
who
percentage.
else the
You need
Lakers
somebody to play defense.
you know who else the Lakers should go get? They're
Who?
not playing him anyway. Go get Bagley and Cam Reddish. The,
Yeah,
the, the
are they
Knicks traded for
demotivated?
Cam Reddish and won't even play him. So he holds no value. Trade him for THT or somebody. Like, you take THT, we'll take Cam Reddish back because what's the worst that could happen? It's already worst case scenario right now.
Yeah, I just know that there's a list of 8 teams in the Western Conference that aren't going to do anything with the Lakers. They're not going to do a single thing to help LeBron. So you're going to have to find somebody other than the teams that actually have a shot at the playoffs. Because the Suns wouldn't do anything to get better if it meant helping the Lakers. And neither would the Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't see Steve Ballmer greenlighting any like intercity moves or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting. Like, we're going to find out how we know how good LeBron is. I think his legacy is secured, but like, we're going to find out if Rob Pelinka can do what it takes to probably hold on. Because is this it for LeBron? This is his last year of his 4-year deal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, so we shall see, buddy. We'll be all right. He'll sign on for 2 more seasons, and then Bronny will have a chance to go to the NBA, and then we'll see where he'll play. Um,
Would you root for LeBron if he came to Phoenix?
yeah, yeah, because Phoenix may end up being my team in a couple months.
Okay.
They may.
That's right. That's right. You don't like having a bad experience, so you just latch on to whoever's good.
Yep. All right. Damian Lillard, though. The Portland Trailblazers have absolutely decimated their roster. They have, I mean, they turned. Yesterday they just traded away his running mate CJ McCollum, which was the final piece of anything that was worth, you know, anything left on that team. And they had already made a bunch of trades in the previous weeks, um, sending everybody from Norman Powell to other people. So and that so here it is. The Blazers essentially traded 2 first-round picks and Trevor Ariza for Robert Covington. The Blazers then traded Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood for Norman Powell. Now all the Blazers have to show for those 2 trades is Keon Johnson, Justice Winslow, and a couple months of Eric Bledsoe. And then they just traded yesterday for a couple dudes I didn't even know were in the NBA. So they got some picks back. They got about $60 million in cap space. They're going to try to get some free agents to Portland. This was the only way to do it. Blow it up. But Damian Lillard, in his raps, he's like, yo, I'll do the grind. I'm about to grind. Well, you got grind, buddy, in year 10. I if I'm him, I'm not signing up for this long-term rebuild because you're never going to get a chance to win.
I don't understand how everybody's trolling Damian Lillard, George, for wanting to, for having loyalty to a franchise and a city. Like it's not that far removed from everybody and their mother ripping on LeBron for the decision for
Yeah.
leaving Cleveland behind to build super teams. There's still enough people out there that believe that that changed the trajectory of basketball so much that it's not even enjoyable for them anymore because it's just a free for all of people trying to chase titles. We made titles the end all be all thing. We valued it over everything else and every debate and everything we ever talked about. And so I don't blame people who are out there chasing titles, but what I don't understand is this idea of mocking somebody for saying like, no, I'm going to be loyal to the soil.
Yeah. No. I don't blame him for it. But at the same time, he spoke it into existence. Like he spoke it into existence.
Do you believe that this is an important question because he was in college '08 through 2012, so not in the current climate, right? He went to Weber State.
Yep.
After his sophomore year, he was dropping 20 a game. It was pretty obvious that he was different,
Yeah.
very different. And he went on to be a two-time Big Sky Player of the Year. His senior year, he was averaging 25.
Yeah.
He
So
was
he's already an
crazy.
older player.
If he existed at Weber State in the current climate, 10 years later, somebody who comes out and averages 20 as a sophomore and is Big Sky Player of the Year, they are transferring to Kentucky,
Yeah.
right? And so is it just a matter of like almost like being on that generational cusp of like
Yeah.
you just even if people overlook you, you stick it out because people overlooked him at Weber State and he was able to become a legend there, and people overlooked him in the draft, which is how he ended up in Portland.
I
And
mean,
if
he
he
was
wants to be
still a
loyal to
high
that
first round
franchise,
pick. He was a top 10 pick.
right?
That's not overlooked.
You don't think so? Everybody likes to say they were overlooked in some way.
Dude, Bryce Young says that he was overlooked and not, even though he's like thought of as one of the best passers in California high school history. But everybody, but not because everybody, single person with a pulse didn't believe. So
Okay, so but you don't think that like that Lillard sits there thinking about how Thomas Robinson was one pick ahead of him, or how
who?
Cleveland took
Thomas
Dion
Robinson
Waiters.
from Kansas?
Yeah, he was the fifth pick in that draft. Lillard was sixth. It was Anthony Davis, which is the consensus number
Yeah.
one. I don't think anybody would ever, like in a redraft. Everybody would say, and then Michael Kidd Gilchrist was a Michael Jordan draftee
Yeah, he's
to
been
Charlotte.
he's an NBA player. Like let's just say that. He's an
Yeah,
NBA
and
player.
then Bradley Beal
Okay.
was the number three pick.
Okay.
Dion Waiters, Thomas Robinson, Damian Lillard.
Okay, who are the next 4 picks to round? Well, who are the next 7 picks to round out the lottery?
Harrison Barnes, Terrence Ross, Andre Drummond, Austin Rivers, Myers Leonard, Jeremy Lamb, and Kendall Marshall. So the top two point guards that were taken were Lillard and Kendall Marshall. It's not
Yeah,
there was no point guard talent in that draft, none.
yeah. But at the same time, like that's actually on a go back. That wasn't a terrible top. Wasn't a terrible lottery. Only like 3 picks were just awful.
Yeah, there was one good point guard in the whole draft, and he went first at his position.
Yep. Okay.
and that was Lillard. So yeah, you're right. I don't know. I don't look at Lillard like I don't mock him for wanting to be a trailblazer. I think that is
No, that's admirable.
commendable.
That's real cute. Like I
But
think
why
it's
do these other NBA players like Joel Embiid get offended and make fun of him for being somebody who says like, I'm gonna stick it out here, like they're gonna build around me. Like, why is that something he should be made fun of for?
yeah. No, I know.
Is it because he can't do it?
No, he shouldn't be made fun of for it. Dude, he's trying his best to go win a championship in a place that's hard to recruit free agents, that hasn't drafted well, that's made terrible trades. Like it you can't win like that. So if he wants to be a winner, he's going to have to go elsewhere. And and,
Did he
and
paint himself into a corner to where his credibility is shot if he turns around and
yes.
says, "All right, it's time to trade me"?
No, because I think that people will say in 2 years, like, man, look, you gave it a good college try, bro. Like you did all you could. Like you tried. Like you stuck it out there for 12 years, through everything. You didn't try to leave, and now you're like, I want to go somewhere else, bro. But at that point in time, he might just be like, F it, bro. I'll be Charles Barkley. I'll be, Kevin Johnson. I'll be, whoever. All right.
Just naming Phoenix Suns who never won a title. I appreciate you. Karl
Rex.
Malone and John Stockton were right there.
but if I said the name Carl Malone, then you would want to punch the wall. So
That's true.
yeah.
Not a
So
good dude.
speaking of speaking things into existence, I have some words for you. Restraining order. Can't see my daughter. Her mother, brother, grandmother hate me in that order. Public visitation. We met at Borders. Told her she'd take me back. I'll be more supportive. I made mistakes. I bumped my head. Court sucked me dry. I spent that bread. She need her daddy. Baby, please. Can't let her grow up in that ghetto university. So that's from Kanye's All of the Lights. Did he speak his life into existence?
Please outline for me what you believe about the idea of manifestation.
Oh, that your words have power. You say
Okay.
them, and you say them enough. That's what you will manifest in your life. Kobe Bryant said he was going to die young. Tupac, Biggie, countless others. You manifest these things in your life. Like if you speak negativity all the time, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get sadness and negativity. Like my wife always asks me, she's like, when she says I have good parking juju, right? That I always find the best parking space available when we go somewhere, even if it's super crowded. And I'm like, because I
Okay.
expect it to like I expect good things to happen all the time. When I pray in the mornings or at night, I pray for one of the main things I pray for is favor. I pray for favor. Not
Okay.
I don't pray for just being the most talented or the most skilled, or yes, those things are important too, but I pray for favor, and I expect good things to happen to me. And I don't speak negativity on my life, on my kids, my friends, none of them.
Okay.
So, and I think that when you do that, even though people can say it's just music, music has power. That's what people listen to before they go to war, before they go play games. The Angels played it before. Like it has power. So if you say these things, you are going to manifest them in your life. Just like rappers who talk about killing each other all the time and all that. It usually befalls them or people around them. And the same thing with country
Okay.
music people who talk about certain things. They're sad too. It's not rock music, the drugs, the pit. Like you manifest this stuff with what you say.
Okay. All right. I think I'm just coming at this from a place of I want to understand that I feel like we also live in a world of a lot of people posting like Instagram squares of inspirational quotes to try to manifest some type of like mumbo jumbo to like lift them out of a circumstance that they don't actually believe. So there's people who speak good, feel bad, and they're trying to like get out of that hole with their words and their practice. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with trying to manifest positivity. I just
Yeah.
don't know. So I'm somebody who uh, does almost like a reverse manifestation, right? Like believe that you should outline all of the possible scenarios when it comes to your actions, right? And I think that as somebody who has, and it's reflected in my sports betting, if I believe a thing, if I believe a thing will happen, there's a pretty good chance it's going to go the other way. So I like to outline all of the negative consequences that could come out of a behavior that I'm about to engage in. Because if I think that if I put my eye on what some of the negative circumstances that could come out of it will be, it might actually help me avoid it. Right. So, like, let's say that I'm about to take our minivan on like a rocky little off road.
Okay.
I'm like, this is definitely going to pop all four tires. And I say that out loud.
And then as you're doing it,
And I know that because I outlined and thought of the worst possible scenario, that I'm probably going to do what it takes to avoid the worst possible scenario because I'm actually mindful of
oh,
how it could go wrong.
no. See me, I might think it. I might but thing is if I think, "Oh man, I'm going to pop all four tires." I'm not going to do the thing that's going to pop all four tires that I believe is going to pop all four tires.
Okay. Okay, so what you're saying is like you would take your car off road and you'd be like, this is gonna be fine.
Yes.
Okay,
Assuming that it was appropriate. Like I'm not going to drive down the side of a mountain and be like, "Yeah, it'll be fine." No, I might be like, "This could go bad."
okay, I do think we live in a world of like inappropriate expectations and manifestations of people who
Yes.
haven't necessarily put in the work to say like to think positively and they think that that's going to be the thing that is their path
Yeah,
to
yeah,
success.
but with what's say faith without actions is dead. So so you can I can wish that I'll have $1 billion, but if I don't do no damn work, I'm not getting $1 billion. Like I can have all the positivity in the whole world. Somebody's gonna run it, like something's just gonna happen. No, bro, you got to put some work into action to get that luck or that favor or that fortune. I'm just saying. So
Okay,
so
so
did
you're
Kanye manifest his life?
maybe if that's one of those things that he just sort of had an expectation because aren't his parents divorced or whatever. I'm assuming he wasn't talking about a situation that he was already in, and
I know,
so
but
it. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. It's the difference between like being a high level athlete and saying I'm going to go out and score 30 tonight, and me saying like I'm going to go out there and I'm probably going to sprain my ankle. So like anything that happens outside of spraining my ankle is a bonus.
yes.
Like that's the way that I manifest is like here's the worst possible thing that could happen, and if it doesn't go that way, I have a multitude of reasons to be
To be
grateful.
grateful.
Because you know what? I went into this Red Robin, I ordered a royal burger with extra cheese, and I did not shit my pants. And for that, I am grateful.
Oh boy. All right. All right, the final thing is Ralph ran into some Jehovah's Witnesses because they show up at your door, try to give you watchtowers and awakes to spread their faith and all of this stuff, right? But
Yeah.
now that I think about it, I was like, when he brought it up, I was like, damn, I haven't seen a Jehovah's Witness in quite some time. Because then I thought about it, I was like, oh, because of COVID. So Ralph ran into some Jehovah's Witnesses. What happened, Ralph?
On my phone. On my phone. They called me. Cold call. Cold call.
Do
They
you
said,
know Jesus?
it wasn't that though, George. It was like, hey, this is Gavin. Had heard that some people are dealing with depression and anxiety in your area. Just wanted to call, check in, and see how you're doing.
Oh wow, that's a good way to start a phone call, actually.
Yeah, like that was the lead in, and I
And
said,
imagine if you are dealing with anxiety or depression in that moment, and you haven't had anybody who cared at all.
Yeah, I mean that could be the call. That could be, it could be helpful. But then it was one of those things where I was like, "Oh, thank you for the call, Gavin. I see that you have a local area code." He was calling from the Charlotte area, and I said, "I see that you have a local area code. Can you tell me what organization you're calling with?" And he said, "Oh, I'm calling from Matthews, North Carolina." And I was like, "Oh, no, no, not the city. I mean, like, what's the actual like purpose behind the call?" He's like, "Oh, I'm actually a member of the local like Jehovah's Witness chapter,
Or
and we're just calling
Kingdom Hall.
Kingdom Hall. Yeah, a member of the local Kingdom Hall, calling around, which is crazy because I have
I'm
an
very
Arizona area
familiar with
code,
these people. They are in my extended family.
to be honest, like I'm fascinated with religion. I'm fascinated by the idea of religion. I'm a religious person. I'm fascinated by all the different offshoots of the religion that we have that seem to be made by people who are dealing with questions of the Trinity. Because that's a big part of Jehovah's Witnesses. Like they're like, well, we can't buy into the Trinity, so like here's a whole new religion, and there's a bunch of different religions like that, right? And so it's something that I'm very familiar with, and I would get probably a quarterly, every 3 months, every 4 months knock on my door, in the last 10, 15 years of living in Arizona, and I like to talk to people. I probably treat my in-person interactions a little bit too much like I treat Twitter, like I should shut a conversation down, but instead I
Yes.
invite it to go to its ultimate end. But in the last 5 years, as somebody who had a daughter who was saved by an ECMO machine, which is basically like a constant blood transfusion, um, literally brought my daughter back from the dead, saved her life. That's a big tenet to the Jehovah's Witness faith, is that you can't accept blood transfusions, which is, I think, one of the things that factored into Prince's death. He had a hip issue, and was hesitant to get uh, um, a hip transplant that probably would have kept him off painkillers. And because of the certain rules within the Jehovah's Witness faith. And so one of the things that I usually do is I say, like, hey, I want to cut to the chase of this conversation because I realize this is a conversion call. I realize this is a rule of your religion. I bring my daughter out and I show them my daughter and say, like, she would not be alive if not for a blood transfusion. So I will continue this conversation with you if you can admit to me in front of my daughter that she should be dead and that you would have allowed her to die. And some people think that that's brutal and mean, but like that's the truth. Is this is a conversion call. This is one of the most important tenets of your faith. I need you to tell me in front of my daughter while I hold her that she should be dead. I need you, and if you can do that, then we absolutely can have an honest conversation. Because if not, we're just beating around the bush, right? And so,
Dude, you
that's how I
take
used
these
to address.
the fact that you get that far with them, I be like, yeah, nah. My grandfather had me reading Watchtowers and Awakes when I was a kid. I'll pass. like
Okay,
there, there's
I just
nothing
think,
there's nothing that a Jehovah's Witness can tell me about that can make me stay at my door or on my phone longer than 45 seconds. Aside
all right. I just
aside from, listen, I'm here to talk to you about converting your faith, but I'm considering harming myself. That is the only way I'm staying longer. Like, it's to
okay.
save that person's life. That is the only reason.
I think that I think part of it was living in Arizona for the last decade and a half. It's hot out. I respect the grind. I respect the hustle. They got all dressed up. They're coming door to door. They bring their kids. They bring their kids.
Yep.
And so I say, like, hey, if we can have an honest conversation, then let's have that conversation. If we're gonna dance, like, I don't have time for the dance. So this is my daughter. Tell me what you thought I should have done. And if they can tell me in front of her that she shouldn't be here anymore, then I'll listen to the next thing they have to say. But if they excuse themselves, which is what happens every single time, if they excuse themselves to the next house, then that's the end of that conversation. Now, I can't show them my daughter when they're calling me on the phone. This is an interesting new approach from the Watchtower Society and the people of Kingdom Hall.
So now
Uh,
you got to figure out a way to. So maybe you should ask them to FaceTime you because they already have your
yeah,
phone number. So just hit the picture button.
are you cool with that? Are you cool with the move to? Because I mean, I think we're all probably used to people knocking on our door and controlling like what that
No,
situation
dude,
is.
that is abusive. Just like the scam likely calls. It's abusive. I want no part of it.
Do you think phone companies should add Jehovah's Witnesses to the scam
Oh
likely
my God,
listings?
yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Except for don't say scam likely. Just say
Scam definitely.
no, man, because they're not
I
scamming.
know now. See,
They're
this
just
is I would out here, and I do respect and love people of Jehovah's Witness faith. I just don't want to be converted at this point in time.
oh,
Um,
you're so nice.
am I? Are you sure? Are you sure I'm the nice one by making them look a 5-year-old girl in the eyes?
Oh, true. Yes, yes. You
Yeah.
are actually a dirt bag for that one, buddy. But uh but yeah. that is right or wrong for the day. You guys weigh in. Tell us what you think Ralph should do because we're gonna absolutely make this one a clip. That's hilarious. But you guys, peace out. Catch you guys next episode.